Yeah.
So I want to challenge you on one thing in terms of the explanation that you've put forth.
Yeah.
I agree with you in that Muay Thai is definitely a more complete system of fighting and a more complete system of self-defense. And if I had to succinctly summarize what you were saying, it sounded like you were saying that Muay Thai is a very effective martial art for aggression and attacking, and boxing is a very good martial art for defense and defensive evasion and tactics. The one thing I want to challenge you on is range. So again, it's all relative, but as somebody who is currently training in boxing and as somebody who is trained in martial arts that incorporate kicks as well, when we do MMA sparring in the gym, for example, I struggle because my range now is rooted in boxing, which is a much closer range because you only have two weapons, and that's your hands.
Yeah.
So when we transition into MMA sparring or even kickboxing, my range is all wrong because that's what I'm training, that's what I know. And now being in that close or in an area where I thought previously that I was safe in a boxing environment, I'm not, because there's kicks flying across my face.
It makes that red zone much wider.
Yes, the green, red, green zones that we spoke about in previous episodes.
Yeah.
It's quite pertinent in that regard, because in a self-defense scenario, if you as a boxer were to come up against somebody who was untrained or maybe a street fighter or anything of that nature, that opponent is going to use kicks. There's nothing that's going to stop them from potentially being able to kick, even if they're not trained and they don't have great technique behind it. In which case, as a boxer, you're still not really trained to deal with that, and your range as a boxer is only designed, you only train within the parameters of fighting with your hands.
Hitting the torso and the head.
Exactly. And the other thing, quickly before I finish off on this and hand it back to you, is when you speak about Muay Thai being slightly less technical and much less defensive in what is important in the art, yes, I think there's an element of within the martial art that is intrinsic to it, of kind of who's tougher or who can kind of take more and then give more, and who's the last man standing.
Yeah.
But don't you also think that a lot of that is down to the fact that the kind of defense and bobbing and weaving and slipping and the evasion tactics that a boxer has for not getting hit simply will never be effective in Muay Thai, because there are 8 weapons that you are at liberty to get hit by at all times. So ducking, bobbing, and weaving, you're going to duck and bob and weave into a kick to your head, or you're going to chow a knee with fucking tomato sauce on it. Do you know what I mean? So I think that there's a functional reason behind Muay Thai fighters not being so defensive, and it's simply because how the fuck do you defend yourself against 8 possible attacks at any given time?